Hi everyone, this is Sunny and today I had come up with a session on Docker. So let's understand what is Docker. Docker is a powerful open source platform that lets developers package, ship and run applications in lightweight isolated environments called containers. Now what does that mean? Let's understand this with an example. Now here, let's say we have a developer who created project. Okay, so this is the project which is created by some developer, and he used different languages like .NET, Java or Python. So it can be any language, doesn't depends. Just understand the concept. Now he runs this project on his machine, on his local machine. It was working fine, no issues he found. Now someone has to test it also, because when you are working for some project in a company, there may be the testing team also. So what he does, he send this project, he share this project to testing team for testing purpose. Now when the tester checks the same project, tests the same project on his PC, it didn't work. Now what can be the reason here? There can be multiple reasons. Although it was working on developer machine, but still there can be some issues. Issues can be compatibility issues, dependency issues. Let us say the project which developer was testing, he was using some different operating system and the tester was having some different operating system. So there can be the compatibility issue, or the developer was using some different browser or tester was having different browser, or there were some files, some dependent files, some libraries which were missing on tester machine. So what I mean is there can be multiple issues, multiple causes that the project was not working even though it was working on developer machine. So now to fix these kinds of compatibility issues, it takes time, it becomes complex to fix. And now to make this easy and without wasting much time on these compatibility issues, on this type of issues, what we have Docker. So let's understand how Docker work. Now in the second slide you can see it is same developer who created project with these types of language which are .NET, Java, Python. So no change, it is same. Now what he did, he configured Docker here. He created his project with the help of Docker, and then he created a Docker image with the Dockerfile. He created Docker image and he created the package of this. Okay, so now what he has, Docker image. Now this time tester will get this Docker image which this developer had created for this project. So now the project worked on tester machine. So there will be no compatibility issues, because whatever it was required, whatever browser, whatever operating system, whatever was required, is everything is in this Docker image. Okay, so everything, whatever is required to run this application, to run this project, is there available in this Docker image. So when the tester gets the same Docker image for this project, it worked without any issue. So this is how Docker works, but Docker should be present in tester machine. So that's required. So this is how Docker works. Don't get confused, I will show you. We will do this practically in later, but this is just the concept which you have to understand, like how Docker work. In the definition it says that it lets developer package, ship. Now what this ship means, package, ship and run applications in lightweight isolated environment called containers. So let's understand this here. Now see, just consider this as a ship. Okay, so this is a ship. Docker works same like ship. Okay, and in the ship because see what ship does, it carries containers. Ship carries containers and it provide where it is required. So the Docker works same like ship, and in ship what we have containers. We have different types of containers. We have multiple containers. So these are containers. So Docker carries containers. In the definition, if you see Docker, it lets developer package, ship and run applications. So what we are doing here, we had packaged these containers. Now let's say this is container 1. In this container 1, it has used a language which is .NET or Java. In the same way, whatever the application, if this is required for the project, if it is .NET and Java is required, so they will fit to this container. And the project which requires Java or HTML, they are fit to this container. And the same way, the project which required Node or XML, they are fit to this container. Okay, so we have different containers, and this ship works same like Docker, and Docker carries these containers, and these containers are independent because whatever is required here, they are in this container. It doesn't need anything else. It doesn't need operating system, nothing. It will work without any dependency. So that's why these containers are independent. They are easy share, so we can share them easily. Here also, when we created the Docker image, it was easy to share to tester. So we share this Docker image to tester, and our tester can get this from his machine. Okay, so that I will show you later practically. So now you have understood the ship works same like Docker, and on the Docker we have different types of containers which are independent, which are easy to share, which are easy to deploy, or we don't have any compatibility issues once we create containers because they are independent. This container doesn't have any dependency on the container number second, or the container number second doesn't have any dependency on container number 3. So that's why it's saying that developer, it lets developer package, ship and run applications in lightweight isolated. What isolated means? They are independent. Okay, so this container doesn't have any dependency on this container. They are isolated. Now coming to container, which you understood what is container. Okay, I will show you one more thing. Let me go to slide again. I will show you some like benefits so that you can understand Docker in a much better way. So let's say we have 3 types of applications: application 1, application 2 and application 3, and each application is using some different node, or you can say different types of different .NET version or different Java version, you can say. But we are taking example here of Node.js. So application 1 is using Node 14, application 2 is using Node 16, and this is using Node 18. But now if you are working on the same server, you cannot configure these applications with different nodes. Either you have to use 14 or 16 or 18. Okay, and if you want to fix this, if you need any solution here, what you can do, you can use different VM, different virtual machines. So here in the node in this virtual machine 1, you will configure this app 1 with Node 14, or you will have VM2 virtual different machine, a virtual machine 2nd, and you will configure this, and for this virtual machine 3 you will configure the C. So this is so hectic. It involves lot of cost, lot of disk space and lot of configurations. So this becomes complex and it's not also beneficial. Now to fix this, what we have, let me show you. See, same, we have 3 different applications, and all applications are using, let's say this is using .NET, this is using Java, or you can take an example of node also, or node. Now what we have here, we have containers. Now we can use the same server, but when you have different containers, you can easily configure these applications, although they have different versions, because the containers, as I said, they are independent. They doesn't have any dependency. So that's why it's easy to configure containers. So that is very beneficial. So let's now understand Docker image, Dockerfile, Docker engine, and Docker hub. Sorry. So if you go to one more slide, see the Docker file. So what actually is Docker file? So Docker file is a simple text file. It's a simple text file where we write instructions like what is required. So let's say you have created some project, okay, and what you need in the project is you need HTML, you need style CSS, you need .NET, or you need Python. So what you can do, you can write everything in the text file what is required. So that is a Docker file. So let's say this is Docker file, and you write you need .NET, you need Node.js, you need HTML. So you have to simply write everything what is required. So that is Docker file. Now after that we have Docker image. So a blueprint for creating containers. It is a snapshot of your app and its environment. Now what does that mean? Let's understand. See, when we create a Docker file and then we have the Docker image that gets delivered with the help of Docker engine. Okay, so with the help of Docker engine, what we get Docker image. So Docker image have all the package. So actually when we have to share our project, what we are sharing here the Docker image. Let's say when you created a project and when you have to share that to different team, what you share Docker image. So actually it is the package where everything is there. So that is Docker image. So it gets delivered with the help of Docker engine. So Docker engine helps for that. With the help of Docker engine, it gets delivered. Now when we have the Docker image, when we run the Docker image, what we get containers. So you can create multiple containers as per your requirement. So after we run an image, we get containers, container 1, container 2, container 3, depends on your requirement. So that is Docker file, Docker image, and containers. Let's now understand Docker hub. So you have understood container, Docker image that we share to different team, Docker file, script that defines how to build a Docker image, Docker engine which helps to create Docker image. And now let's understand Docker hub, a cloud-based registry where you find and share container image. So let's understand this part. Now here you have seen, so developer creates a project. Let's say he created application 1, and then what he did, he writes everything whatever is required in the Docker file. If he requires .NET, if he requires Python, he writes everything in this Docker file, which is a text file. And then with the help of Docker file, what he created Docker image. So Docker image gets created where everything is stored. It is a package. So this is a package. Okay, this is a package where everything is there. When we have to share anything, what we share Docker image. Now here is what you have to understood, Docker hub. So Docker hub is a cloud-based registry. So it is in the cloud. We get this is in the web. Like when you you can save your Docker image, you can push your Docker image in Docker Hub, which is a cloud base. So you can store your image there. And when we have different users, so let's say we have a client, we have a business user, we have a different team, we have the rental team, we have some other teams. So there can be multiple teams. So what we do, we will store our Docker image on Docker Hub, and when someone is required that, let's say we have the user who is from IBM team, okay, so he is from IBM team, he needs this application, and what he can get, he will directly get from the Docker Hub. So it becomes easy for the user to get these Docker images from Docker Hub. So we use Docker Hub to store our Docker images. In the same way, we can store multiple images, thousands of images on Docker Hub, so that it becomes easily available to different users. Okay, so this is Docker Hub. And to make it more clear, let me open this Docker Hub from the web. So for this we have the web's link, which is dockerhub.com. So you can open this and you can do the sign up, and you will get. So here you can see this is dockerhub.com, which I said here is a cloud-based registry. You will find here multiple images. So this is image. These are multiple images, thousands of images, which you can use for yourself. Okay. So in the same way, we can also push our image to this Docker Hub, and you have to do the sign up, and you will be easily you can easily configure, you can easily push your image also in this Docker Hub that I will show you in later videos. But for now, just understand what is Docker Hub. So here is Docker Hub. Now the next part is to show you how to install Docker. So let's do that first. First we need to understand Docker, and we will do the practical of Docker, and then I will show you Docker Hub. Docker install. This is a link, Docker install. You will get this link. Click here. Here also you can find. So let's do it for our view of Docker desktop. Docker engine. See, you will get the link for Mac, for Windows, or for Linux. So as per your requirement, as per your configuration, so you can install the Docker for your machine. So if you are using Windows, you can do for Windows. If you are using Mac, you can install for Mac, or if for Linux, you can install for Linux. For myself, so I will do it for Windows. Just click on Windows, it will start installing. So click here, Docker desktop for Windows x86-64. Okay, see, you will get the installer here. Now click here. Once it will get installed, so we get this file. After you click on installer, you will get this file. See, this is this icon, this is a symbol for Docker, a fish like symbol here. So you have to double click on this installer, and then it will get installed. Although I had installed this already, so it's not, and it's very easy. You have to click on yes, and it will get installed without any issue. Just it will take hardly 1 minute. But I had installed it already. I will not install this again. So then once it get installed, what you have to do, you have to go to search bar and then go Docker. See, Docker desktop you will get. So click here on Docker desktop. And one more thing, when you will open this Docker desktop, let me show you. Let's first open this Docker desktop. Once you install the Docker, you will find the Docker icon on the desktop also. See, this is Docker icon. And one more thing where you can check whether it is running or not. Go here in the taskbar and you will find this Docker. See, when you will hover the mouse on this icon, you will find Docker desktop is running. It should be running always. Now here, this is the interface. You have to provide your credentials. You have to like you can sign up with the Google, or you can give your like username and details. Now here, this is the simple interface, and if you found any issues, you can comment me. You will not find any issues while installing this Docker. So once you are in this interface, then you can also check the version details also. You will get the terminal. For that, what you have to do, click on terminal and then type, if you just go docker --, version, you will find the version details here, which means so Docker is configured, you get the version and it is working. So I think that's enough for the day. We'll come up with the next session shortly. Till then, have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care. Be healthy, be safe, and most important, love your family. Bye bye.